The main elements of weather and climate are temperature, humidity, precipitation, air pressure, and wind. Temperature depends on solar energy received from the sun. Humidity is the amount of water vapor of snow, sleet, and hail. Air pressure decreases with height, and wind moves from high-pressure areas to low-pressure areas. Land and water heat and cool at different speeds. During the day, land heats faster, causing warm air to rise and cooler air from the sea to move to a land. This is called a sea breeze. At night, land cools faster, and cooler air moves from land towards the warmer sea. This is called a land breeze.
Section 8. Monsoon. Introduction and influence. The monsoon is the single most important influence on India's climate, deciding when and how much it rains across most of the country. Farming, rivers, drinking water, and even the economy rise and fall with it. Understanding the monsoon is therefore central to understanding India itself. Sailors and the discovery of monsoon. Ancient sailors were among the first to notice the monsoon, observing that the winds over the Indian Ocean reversed direction with the seasons. They used these predictable winds to sail towards India in one season and back in another. This practical knowledge made long-distance sea trade possible long before modern science. Arabs and the word mawsim. The word monsoon comes from the Arabic word mawsim, meaning season. Arab traders used it to describe the seasonal winds they relied on for sailing. The name captures the monsoon's defining feature. It is a wind that changes with the season. Understanding monsoon. Concept box. The monsoon is defined as the seasonal reversal in wind direction over the course of a year. In summer, the winds blow from sea to land, and in winter, they blow from land to sea. This yearly switch in direction is the essence of the monsoon. Ancient rainfall prediction. Krishi Parashara. Ancient Indian texts, such as the Krishi Parashara, describe methods of predicting rainfall based on the positions of the moon and the sun. Farmers used such guidance to decide when to sow their crops. This shows an early, systematic attempt to forecast the monsoon. Ancient prediction. Brihat Samhita and Varahamihira. The scholar Varahamihira, in his work The Brihat Samhita, described predicting rainfall using the lunar mansions, or nakshatras. He linked the timing and amount of rain to astronomical positions. This reflects the sophistication of ancient Indian weather observation. Lunar mansions, nakshatras. Nakshatras are the 27 divisions of the sky marked along the moon's monthly path among the stars. Ancient astronomers used them as a calendar and as markers for predicting seasonal events like rainfall. They formed the backbone of traditional Indian timekeeping and forecasting. Monsoon winds, seasonal and two types. The monsoon winds are seasonal, and there are two main types: the southwest monsoon of summer and the northeast monsoon of winter. The two blow in opposite directions and bring very different weather. Together, they make up the complete monsoon cycle. Southwest monsoon. Introduction. The southwest monsoon, also called the summer monsoon, blows from the sea towards the land during the hot months. It is the main rain-bringing wind for most of India. Its arrival marks the start of the crucial rainy season. Southwest monsoon. Seas and months. The southwest monsoon draws moisture from the Indian Ocean, the Arabian Sea, and the Bay of Bengal, blowing from about June to September. These warm seas supply the water vapor that becomes rain. The winds split into two branches, the Arabian Sea branch and the Bay of Bengal branch, as they cross India. Southwest monsoon. Unequal heating. In summer, the land heats up much faster than the surrounding seas. This unequal heating is the engine of the southwest monsoon. The hotter land and cooler sea set up the pressure difference that drives the winds. Southwest monsoon, low pressure and rainfall. Because the land is intensely hot, a strong low pressure area forms over it, while high pressure sits over the cooler seas. Moist winds therefore rush from the sea towards the land, and as this moist air rises and cools over India, it releases heavy rainfall. This is why the southwest monsoon brings most of the country's rain. Reading the advancing monsoon map. A map of the advancing monsoon shows lines, isochrones, marking the normal dates on which the monsoon reaches different parts of India. Reading it, you can trace how the rain arrives first in the south around early June and spreads north and west over the following weeks. This helps explain why some regions get rain much earlier than others. Northeast monsoon. Introduction. The northeast monsoon, also called the winter monsoon, blows from land towards the sea from about October to February. It is generally the reverse of the summer monsoon. For most of India, it is a dry season. Northeast monsoon, pressure reversal. In winter, the land cools faster than the sea, so a high-pressure area forms over the cold land, while low pressure sits over the warmer seas. This is the reverse of the summer situation. As a result, the winds now blow outward from land to sea. Northeast monsoon, cold, dry winds. The northeast monsoon winds blow from the cold, dry interior of the land, so they carry little moisture. For most of the country, they bring clear, dry, and cool weather rather than rain. This is why winter in most of India is a dry season. Northeast monsoon, rainfall in the southeast. As the northeast winds cross the Bay of Bengal, they pick up moisture and then bring rain to the southeastern coast, especially Tamil Nadu and parts of Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. So while most of India is dry in winter, this region receives its main rainfall now. This makes the southeast's rainfall pattern unusual compared with the rest of the country. Reading the retreating monsoon map. A retreating monsoon map shows the normal dates on which the monsoon withdraws from different regions. Reading it, you can see the monsoon retreating from the northwest first and lingering longest in the southeast. Comparing it with the advancing map shows the full seasonal cycle of arrival and withdrawal. Importance of monsoon. The monsoon is vital because it supports agriculture, refills rivers and groundwater, supplies drinking water, and sustains countless livelihoods. It also shapes festivals, food, employment, and daily life across India. The textbook focus is that the monsoon is important not only for farming, but also for water supply, the economy, and social life. Monsoon extremes, floods, and droughts. The monsoon can bring dangerous extremes. Too much rain in a short time causes destructive floods, while a weak or delayed monsoon causes drought and crop failure. This is why the monsoon is both a blessing and, at times, a threat. Kalidasa's Meghadutam and Monsoon. The great poet Kalidasa's work, Meghadutam, The Cloud Messenger, beautifully describes monsoon clouds and their journey across India. It shows how deeply the monsoon has inspired Indian literature and imagination. Such references reveal the monsoon's cultural as well as practical importance. National Monsoon Mission, NMM. The National Monsoon Mission is a government initiative to build better scientific models for predicting the monsoon. Accurate forecasts help farmers, water managers, and disaster planners prepare in advance. It represents India's modern effort to understand and predict its most important weather event. Mission Monsoon. Mission Monsoon is presented as an effort to make India weather-ready and climate-smart. Its focus is on improving weather and climate services so that people can prepare better for events such as storms, floods, and extreme weather. The textbook point is that better prediction and preparedness are now essential. Section 9. Climate change. Climate change, the urgent challenge. Climate change is one of the most serious problems facing the Earth today. It refers to lasting changes in the planet's usual weather patterns, driven largely by human activity. Because it affects every region and every living thing, it demands urgent, worldwide attention. Climate change. Definition. Climate change means long-term changes in temperature, rainfall, wind patterns, and the frequency of extreme weather events. Unlike ordinary seasonal variation, these changes build up over decades and shift the baseline of what is normal. The clearest sign is the steady rise in the Earth's average temperature. Causes: burning fossil fuels. The biggest cause of climate change is the burning of fossil fuels, coal, petrol, and diesel, for electricity, transport, and industry. Burning these fuels releases large amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This extra carbon dioxide traps heat and warms the planet. Causes: deforestation. Deforestation, the large-scale cutting of forests, adds to climate change in two ways. Trees absorb carbon dioxide, so removing them means less of this gas is taken out of the air. Cutting and burning forests also releases stored carbon, making the problem worse. Causes: industrial pollution. Factories and industries release greenhouse gases and other pollutants as they burn fuel and process materials. This industrial pollution steadily adds to the blanket of heat-trapping gases in the atmosphere. Rapid industrial growth without controls therefore speeds up warming. Greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases are the gases that trap heat in the atmosphere, mainly carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and water vapor. They allow sunlight to reach the Earth, but stop some of the heat from escaping back into space. Human activities have raised the levels of these gases, intensifying their warming effect. Greenhouse effect and global warming. The greenhouse effect is the natural process by which greenhouse gases trap heat and keep the Earth warm enough for life. However, as human activity adds more of these gases, the effect strengthens and traps too much heat, causing global warming, the steady rise in the Earth's average temperature. A moderate greenhouse effect is essential, but an intensified one is dangerous. Effects: floods and droughts. A warmer climate makes extreme weather more frequent and severe, bringing both heavier floods and longer droughts. Some regions receive intense, damaging rainfall, while others suffer prolonged dryness. These swings hurt farming, water supply, and safety. Effects: melting glaciers and rising seas. Rising temperatures cause glaciers and polar ice to melt, adding water to the oceans. As a result, sea levels rise, threatening low-lying coasts and islands with flooding. Melting mountain glaciers also endanger the rivers that depend on them. Effects: loss of biodiversity. Climate change disturbs habitats faster than many plants and animals can adapt, putting countless species at risk. As ecosystems are disrupted, some species decline or disappear, reducing biodiversity. This loss weakens the natural systems that all life, including humans, depends on. Impacts: health, agriculture, livelihoods. Climate change harms human life in many ways. Heat waves and new disease patterns threaten health, unreliable weather reduces crop yields, and failing harvests destroy livelihoods. Farmers, fishers, and the poor are hit hardest. These impacts show that climate change is a human problem, not just an environmental one. Impacts on women and children. Women and children are often affected most severely by climate change. When water and firewood become scarce or disasters strike, women frequently bear the extra burden of securing them, and children's health and schooling suffer. Recognizing this helps make climate solutions fair and inclusive. Solutions. Collective efforts. Tackling climate change requires action by governments, communities, and individuals together. Key solutions include switching to renewable energy like solar and wind, protecting and planting forests, and adopting sustainable lifestyles. Because the problem is global, only shared, cooperative effort can solve it. Understanding carbon footprint. Concept box. A carbon footprint is the total amount of greenhouse gases released into the atmosphere because of a person's or group's activities. Everything from the transport we use to the electricity we consume adds to it. Measuring our footprint helps us see where we can cut back. My carbon footprint. Transport. Transport choices strongly affect our carbon footprint. Walking, cycling, or using public transport creates far fewer emissions than traveling alone by car or motorbike. Assessing your own travel habits shows how everyday journeys add up. My carbon footprint. Electricity use. How we use electricity shapes our footprint, since much power still comes from burning fossil fuels. Leaving lights, fans, and devices on wastes energy and raises emissions, while switching them off and using efficient appliances lowers them. Reviewing your electricity habits reveals easy savings. My carbon footprint. Water use. Using water also has a carbon cost, because energy is needed to pump, treat, and heat it. Wasting water, long showers, running taps, leaks, increases that hidden energy use. Using water carefully, therefore, helps reduce your footprint. My carbon footprint. Waste and plastics. The waste we produce, especially plastic, adds to our carbon footprint through its manufacture and disposal. Reducing, reusing, and recycling cut down the resources and energy consumed. Choosing less plastic and sorting waste are simple, powerful steps. My carbon footprint. Scoring and pledge. After assessing transport, electricity use, water use, and waste plastic habits, you can score your overall impact and see whether it is high or low. The final step is to write a personal climate action pledge, a few realistic promises to reduce your footprint. This matches the textbook activity. Calculate, reflect, and pledge practical climate action. Case study and wrap-up. 151. Punjab Floods 2025. Overview. The Punjab floods of 2025 were a severe disaster caused by heavy monsoon rainfall and swelling rivers. Large areas of the state were submerged, disrupting normal life. This case study shows how a natural weather event can turn into a major human crisis. Punjab floods. Damage and impact. The floods caused widespread damage to villages, farmland, houses, roads, and other infrastructure. Standing crops were destroyed, and thousands of people were displaced from their homes. The scale of the loss shows how vulnerable communities are to extreme weather. Natural causes: heavy monsoon and western disturbances. A major natural cause was exceptionally heavy monsoon rainfall, made worse by western disturbances, weather systems that bring extra rain to northern India. When these combined, the region received far more water than usual in a short time. This overwhelmed the land's ability to absorb or drain it. Natural causes: swelling rivers. The intense rain caused rivers such as the Satluj, Beas, Ravi, and Ghaggar to overflow their banks. As they swelled, they spilled into surrounding fields and settlements. Overflowing rivers were therefore a direct natural cause of the flooding. Human-made causes, embankments and encroachment. Human actions worsened the disaster. Weak or poorly maintained embankments, dusiband, gave way under pressure, and people had built too close to rivers in areas that naturally flood. This encroachment on floodplains put lives and property directly in harm's way. Human-made causes, siltation and late warnings. Other human-made factors included siltation, the buildup of mud and sand that reduces a river's capacity to carry water, and delayed flood warnings. With shrunken channels, rivers overflowed more easily, and late warnings left people little time to prepare or evacuate. Better management could have reduced the damage. Effects of the Punjab floods. The floods led to loss of life, mass displacement, and the destruction of crops and livestock. Standing water and damaged sanitation also spread disease. The combined human, economic, and health toll shows how far-reaching a single disaster can be. Classroom discussion and NDMA guidelines. A classroom discussion can debate how much of the disaster was natural and how much was human-made. Usually, it is a mix of both. Studying the National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA) guidelines shows how flood management should include prevention, early warning, and preparedness. Young people can help by spreading awareness and supporting relief efforts. Before we move on, chapter summary. This is the point to pull the whole chapter together. The atmosphere is a protective blanket of gases held by gravity. It is arranged in layers. Weather is short-term, while climate is long-term. Its elements are temperature, humidity, precipitation, pressure, and wind. India's seasons and monsoon follow yearly rhythms, and climate change now threatens these patterns. Seeing how each part connects to the next is the real goal. The Punjab Floods Case Study ties the science to real life. Questions, activities, and climate data analysis. The chapter closes with end-of-chapter questions and activities that test and apply what you have learned. A key task is analyzing the climate data in Table 3.3, reading temperature and rainfall figures for different stations and drawing graphs from them. Practicing this builds the skill of interpreting real climate information, the same skills scientists use to study weather and climate.
Land and water heat and cool at different speeds. During the day, land heats faster, causing warm air to rise and cooler air from the sea to move toward land. This is called a sea breeze. At night, land cools faster, and cooler air moves from land toward the warmer sea. This is called a land breeze. Land and water heat and cool at different speeds. During the day, land heats faster, causing warm air to rise and cooler air from the sea to move toward the land. This is called a sea breeze. At night, land cools faster, and cooler air moves from land towards the warmer sea. This is called a land breeze. India has a tropical monsoon climate. The year is divided into 4 main seasons: winter, summer, monsoon, and post-monsoon. Traditional Indian knowledge describes 6 seasons: Vasanta, Grishma, Varsha, Sharad, Hemanta, and Shishra. These seasons have influenced Indian culture, agriculture, music, literature, and daily life for centuries. Monsoon means a seasonal reversal of wind direction. In summer, low pressure over India attracts isolated southwest monsoon winds that bring most of the country's rainfall. In winter, high pressure develops over land, causing northeast monsoon winds to blow toward the sea. The monsoon is vital for agriculture, water supply, rivers, and India's economy. Climate change is caused mainly by human activities such as burning fossil fuels, cutting forests, and industrial pollution. Greenhouse gases trap heat and cause global warming, leading to floods, droughts, melting glaciers, and rising sea levels. We can reduce our carbon footprint by saving energy, using public transport, recycling, and planting more trees.
Class 9 and 10 students, don't worry, make science and social science easy with your CBSE teacher. Subscribe now, like, comment, and press the bell.
Welcome to an exciting journey into science.
Class 9 and 10 students, don't worry, make science and social science easy with your CBSE teacher. Subscribe now, like, comment, and press the bell.